Welcome back to the channel. In this video we are not ranting about Cyberpunk, we are ranting because of Cyberpunk. We've recently had the third Night City wire where they show us stuff to do with the game. We've seen gameplay, we've seen some weapons. Like, one of my favourite, most anticipated features is the fact that you can curve bullets. I've always wanted to play a game that has that sort of mechanic similar to the film Wanted, where you can curve bullets, and this has it. I can't wait to play this game, but I'm going to be ranting because watching through Night City Wire and listening to the developers talking about the game, it absolutely shows just how much passion they have put into this project. Some gameplay might not look amazing, the game when it comes out might have some bugs here and there, might not be perfect, but you can see the CD Projekt Red have put time, effort, and passion into this game. You see games like The Division 2 that's having weekly maintenance to fix bugs all the time. I know these are online games I'm talking about, but you also have games like Ghost Recon Breakpoint where they constantly delay their maintenance. You do have single player games too. You have something like Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order where the developers rush the game out to fit it in the right timeline with what else, like the other stuff they are releasing, like not just games, like movies, TV shows and stuff like that. And because of that, the developers actually released the Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order with game-breaking bugs that they were fully aware of just because they needed to get the game out on that sort of timeline. But Cyberpunk has been delayed a couple of times now. The developers have come out and said that they don't want to delay the game anymore, so there's a big chance it's actually going to release on November 19th. But that's what I wanted to talk about. If you haven't seen the Night City wire, I'll leave it linked in the description. The gameplay in the background is actually taken directly from that. And you can just see how much effort has gone into it. The game's got several gangs, there's loads of side quests. There's going to, like, unfortunately for me, having the job of creating content, there's going to be a lot of nudity, so there's going to be a lot of cuts in the content that I'm making, but with the nudity, the gangs, the story, the city, there's a big wasteland outside the city, there's vehicle gameplay, there's guns, there's skill trees, there's different characters. I'm actually thinking the story is going to be like 60 to 80 hours plus. I think this is almost, I think probably around the same size as The Witcher 3. But just looking at it and the amount of attention to detail that's in this game, and every single small detail, they've actually paid attention to it. I did see gameplay, I think it was Game Riot that uploaded it a couple of months ago, and it didn't look too great. There was like clunky fighting animations and stuff. And I know a lot of this game, like the marketing and stuff for it is based on hype. Everyone's getting hyped for this game and it could be a letdown, you never know. But after seeing the Night City wire tonight, it completely changes the perspective of the gameplay that Game Riot showed, and then what they've actually showed us recently in their live stream to give us more information. I feel that this is going to be the greatest game of the year. CD Projekt Red actually care about their community. They create long, engaging, immersive games that have a very good storyline to them. They've obviously paid money out to get Keanu Reeves involved with it. He's going to be playing someone called Johnny Silverhand. It seems as though this game's going to be huge. I will be covering it on the channel. I don't know what form of content I'll be doing at the moment. There's possibly going to be some different gun guides, maybe some tips and tricks and stuff here and there. I'm not entirely sure. I won't do a walkthrough just in case it's like a 100-hour plus game. They also, for those of you that aren't aware, they did release the recommended requirements for PC specs, and it's not actually that demanding, to be completely honest. I was expecting to see a lot more demanding specs, like a hell of a lot more demanding. But yeah, the main topic of this is just the fact that the last few years in terms of gaming has been an absolute shambles. We've seen games as a service or live service games. They've come along and they've pretty much taken over all of the open world co-op, PvE, looter shooter sort of games. Every single one is released like that. And as I said, Division 2 and Breakpoint, and then you've got games like Anthem, it just completely dropped off the radar. They've said, right, we're pretty much abandoning the game right now. We're going to go work on a complete overhaul of the entire game. It was only a few months ago that BioWare were in the prototype phase of development with the overhaul. We could be waiting a year or two, and then they're obviously going to spend a lot of money on it. They're going to charge us money for this overhaul. That is, if they do that, it's wrong. They have no right or reason to do it. they messed up with their game. We should be getting every single like update they're doing to change the experience. We should be getting that for free. But it's not just that. You've got like hackers and cheaters are really, really prevalent in Call of Duty Warzone, and then you've got the Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. That campaign was so underwhelming when I watched it on the PS5 event. And then you do get all the players that are sitting there complaining, saying, oh, like, I've just gone out and bought a PS5 so that I can play Spider-Man Miles Morales, when I didn't know at the time that I could just play it on the PS4 because it's coming out on that as well. Well, little did I know at the time, and obviously a lot of other people, Demon's Souls isn't even a brand new game. That's a remaster of a PS3 game. A game that released in 2009, and that's another annoying thing. It was part of the PS5 event to show gameplay of that game. It's not new, it's a bloody remaster. I guess my goal of this video, like the whole point of it, is to basically just say that developers need to start like paying more attention to what they are creating. This is their project. They decided to start doing this, like the studios, even if it's the publishers. They had an idea and they passed it off to a development team, then they go and work on it. Whatever the case is, they've decided to go ahead and make a game. It should be a passion project. You do see it in a lot of indie games, but it feels as though the AAA market is just taking us for granted more and more each year. They're wanting more money now, yet they don't tell you how much money they're actually making. Like, I'm not expecting them to go, all right, we've made $450 million this month or anything like that. But they hide all of the financial side of it and then think it's right to go and charge players. Look at what happened with UFC. I think it's, what, number 4 now? EA actually went and put full screen advertisements for, I think it was an Amazon TV series, in the game. It was popping up with full screen adverts after you paid £60 to play that game. They have removed it because the players absolutely kicked off. There was a lot of backlash. But you see it all over the place, with players just being ripped off left, right and centre. You see all of these year 1 passes that don't like release any meaningful content. You see all of these updates that are making the game more broken than before, yet instead of spending time on fixing the problems with the games, they're releasing more and more content because it's paid content, so they're going to make more money. The AAA gaming industry needs to get a grip. They need to forget the idea of keep charging us more and more for these products unless they can guarantee they are going to be working. Another example, Avengers. They had multiple betas. I've counted I think I did a video for 25 plus bugs that I had experienced within 40 hours of gameplay. That was a full-priced game. Look at Fast and Furious Crossroads. You get 4 hours of gameplay. The online part of the game didn't have anywhere near enough players to find a match. It only required 9. But I never found the match and I sat there searching for a little while. Even the matchmaking's broken on Avengers. But with Fast and Furious Crossroads, it looked like a game called Blur that I played when I was a teenager. We're talking like 10 plus years ago. I honestly think if there is... Well, I mean, there's always going to be a way forward. There will always be people that dip into their wallets and give these, like, feed these giant, like, corporate companies that are just demanding money left, right and centre so their CEOs can get a raise every year. There's always going to be those people that are like, oh yeah, no, but it's only a bit of money, it doesn't matter, but it's bloody expensive. When you're paying like £100 for an ultimate edition of a game, that £100 could do like a couple of weeks worth of shopping. That money could keep you alive for a couple of weeks. And I know at the end of the day it's choice to play games, but the gaming industry is evolving around the world. More and more people every year are starting to play games. It's absolutely taken over, and because of that, developers know that they can just abuse it, basically. So what I think needs to happen is CD Projekt Red need to make sure this game comes out very, very polished. I'm not saying they're not going to, but they need to do that and continue showing that they support their community. They actually appreciate that we've put the money into the game and we spend the time on the game, and they get shown in return that we enjoy it and we appreciate the work they've put into it. Because if Cyberpunk does pull off as successful as everyone thinks it's going to, I'm hoping more companies, a bigger part of the industry, will take a leaf out of their book and they will start to do the same thing. I'm not a programmer or developer or anything myself, but I can guarantee some of this stuff, some of these bugs that are left in games nowadays, I guarantee for someone that has an education and they know what they are doing, they have experience in this line of work, I guarantee some of it can easily be fixed. Within like an hour or two, they could go through the entire code for that part of the game that needs fixing, and they could fix it. but they just decide not to because they know that at the worst all they're going to get is people saying let's boycott this game. Whenever you say boycott, there could be 15 million players on a game. You could get 12 million people to start boycotting the game, but there are still 3 million people that are refusing to do it that will continue feeding these companies, so they won't care because they're still getting money. But on that note, I'm going to leave the video there. I will, as I said, be covering Cyberpunk. I'm not sure on the content yet. It's probably going to be tips and some cool gameplay of guns and stuff. We will have to see when it releases. Hopefully there's no more delays and it'll be available on the 19th of November. But that's going to do it for this one. Let me know your thoughts and stuff in the comments. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for watching.